Welcome back. It is a Monday, which means it is another IGTV / sometimes YouTube cooking show. I'm so glad you're here. I'm really appreciative of your comments. I'm glad I posted my last one. And hopefully some of you have tried the peanut butter sriracha. I did have a chef send me a message and tell me that if you add a little tamari or a little bit of garlic, you can actually make that sauce even better. So just a heads up on that. Thank you for the tips. They're so fun. We are going to focus on vegetables today because that was our biggest takeaway last time, eating more vegetables. We all need to do it, so maybe this is a win. And I was thinking, one of my favorite things that I used to have when I ate dairy was the caprese salad. So tomato and mozzarella and basil. And I know that some people do fine with dairy, but for me, I really miss it. So when you're looking at something that's an easy side dish with vegetables, how can we utilize lots of different colors and flavors? And so I created this little fun salad that I am going to throw at you. Just a new way to think about vegetables, hopefully, so that it's not so linear as far as arugula or spinach or mixed greens. You can get out of the box a little bit. So we're gonna utilize an ingredient that is something that would be perfect because it would be a leftover from one of my favorite cooking shows, and it's quinoa. So that is currently in the oven. If you guys have not done the quinoa breakfast bowl, I think it is the best cooking show we have done as far as what it actually turns out to taste like. But some things with quinoa. So we're toasting the quinoa. So that's ingredient number one, using leftover quinoa from that recipe because I had it last night for dinner. Quinoa, again, it's a plant protein. So yes, it does have more quinoa, or it does have more protein than typical grains. But keep in mind, if you were a plant in the wild and somebody came and picked you up or tried to eat you, you would protect yourself somehow. So they do that. Quinoa protects itself and plants protect itself by having things like saponins or lectins. It makes it a little bit harder for us to access. So yes, quinoa has protein and magnesium and chromium and all these great things, just like any other plant protein, but it is harder for us to digest unless we prepare it appropriately. So when you're doing quinoa, I always soak it first, rinse it until it's clear, and then you can also do the same thing with beans and legumes. And so it's a little bit easier for your body to break down and utilize. So that's happening while it's toasting. So it's just 375 degrees, taking your old leftover quinoa that was in the fridge, thin layer, throw it into the oven, let it toast and get really crunchy but not burnt. We're just gonna utilize some of my favorite things. Number one, avocado. Who doesn't like avocado? I always have a couple people, if they're going through like the MFIT challenge or they're going through like, you know, getting healthier and they're allergic to avocado. And I just want to tell you guys, I am so sorry. It's like, if I could live off anything, it would be avocado. And a few tips, because I've had some people ask. So I'm just gonna cube it, like rough chop cube. A few tips to making your avocado last. My Uncle Johnny taught me this, is that you can leave the pit in the half and it will actually save it much more. Or I take a little bit of lime juice and just put it in a Pyrex so it doesn't like go brown within 10 seconds. Lime juice and leave the pit. We're gonna do one more avocado. This one feels good. So 2 avocados, tomatoes, whatever tomatoes you like. You could do cherry tomatoes. I actually wrote a poem about tomatoes in my book because I used to hate them, and now it just all depends on the type. So I like cherry tomatoes and I like Roma tomatoes, but I do not like anything else. So just a little unnecessary fun fact about Emily. And then tomatoes go in. I think for me, when I look at this mess, when I look at like how I think about vegetables, we want as many possible solutions and colors and diversity. So technically, of course, tomatoes have vitamin C, maybe a little bit of, you know, you could say whatever they have. I don't think vegetables really count unless they're green. I think anything colorful is good and helpful and makes things taste good and gives you variety. But I will always, always, always focus on what is green. And so when I look at vegetables, even cauliflower to me, it's like, it's unfulfilling because yes, it's good and helpful, but Green is what matters the most. So we're gonna play around with a couple green things. This is from Mile High Microgreens. So they do a green delivery service. So these are arugula sprouts. And then of course, basil, because that's so caprese of me. I am very ready for my garden to be back alive. Basil, Thai basil, all basil. You can rip it up, whatever you want. We will make it a little bit smaller. And then we're looking at how do we make this even more fun. And of course, that's more flavors. So we're gonna do cilantro, scallions, olive oil, and salt. I think that's it. So whatever you can find in the aisle of salads will be delicious. And let's check on the quinoa. Whoa, that was hot. I cheated and I went on broil. So just make it to where it's not burnt. Broil will burn it pretty fast, but it smells amazing. And if you guys remember from that cooking show, which I'll link, I cooked this quinoa in coconut milk. So it's gonna have some really good, oh my God, Emily, delicious fats. There we go. Hot, 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 hot. As much as you want, and then I'm just gonna get a little bit more sprouts in there. We have scallion sprouts, salt. We'll just kind of see where we're at before we add the oil, because it does look like it's gonna do its own thing. Kind of think of this as a grab bag for leftover things in your fridge, but in salad form. The sprouts are so slimy. Okay, cool. I love this. Again, this could be perfect on top of a more bed of salad, or you can just do it as is. And let's try. Oh my God. Why does that quinoa make everything taste good? I love that. Sorry. Oh my, I love it. I'm gonna add a little olive oil and a little more salt and we're there. I learned the toasted quinoa from my favorite restaurant in Denver called Urban Farmer. They put it on their salads. If you are ever visiting Denver, come visit Platform Strength and then go to Urban Farmer because they are by far the best steaks in Denver. Thank you, Urban Farmer, for this amazing idea. Look at this. Eat more vegetables, everybody. I'm just gonna keep saying that. It's like Julia Child with Bon Appetit. Eat more veggies.